Thank you very much.
Okay, and Annette Tarpley is the founder of the Passion of Poetry Facebook group, which has grown to over 24,000 members. She's a prolific writer and just recently published her first children's book, The Bird and the Butterfly. I have it upside down backwards. And she has many books to her credit, including Poetry, Potpourri, and Two Hearts, because it's Sarfraz Ahmed. Annette, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's truly an honor and privilege to be here. Congratulations, Elizabeth. I realized last night in my travels, because I'm working 2 hours away from home and doing a 6-day stretch, that I forgot to bring your book that I have at home. So I apologize, but I have it. There it is. Zan is holding it up, and so is Sarfraz. So here's my imaginary book. So, but I'm truly privileged and honored to be here and to read your lovely poetry. Love you to pieces, dear Elizabeth. You're a wonderful and brilliant person. So I'm going to read The Choices You Make. When the dawn comes, sun, the moonlight paves the way to light up another day, which men shall never know, lone for those who tread not the valley of death. Going through life, you'll see there's so much to do. The choices you make, gateways to fate. The path you choose, you shall tread, never tire. Success ends nowhere. The genesis of failure you may know, but its end you shall know not. Least you change your path. No time is ever late for amends. A sorcerer shall dance with problems in the ballroom of troubles. When he blunders in his spells, so shall a man whose choices are like those of Shakespeare's Prince of Aragon, likewise that of Morocco. Why choose to fail? When success holds greater rewards, it matters not how tough the path might be. Be tender, focused, and shun distractions. Cause not all that glitters is gold. So beautiful poem and beautiful message. And I must say that this is a very pertinent message for where I'm currently working, which is a drug rehab center where people come inpatient to get better. And I preach this message every day. Life is about choices, and we can guide our path through the choices we make. But love and blessings to you. Love and blessings to you all. And I'm thinking Edith might be your grandmother. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very nice to meet you, ma'am. Very
Nice to
nice.
meet you.
And I know Richard is your father because I know your father. Is that your mother next to you?
Yes, this is my mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. So love and blessings to you all. You all have, yes, you all have gifted the world with a wonderful person, and that is dear Elizabeth. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Hello.
much.
Next, we have Io Bright Awasika. She's a registered nurse and health educator based in California, United States of America, born in Nigeria, Africa. Her hobbies are storytelling, poetry writing, songwriting, and greeting composition for special occasions. She's a co-author of a poetry anthology, A Family Heritage, titled Wisdom and Voices, a collection of poems. It is available on Amazon. She is also a contributor to a poetry anthology titled Sensibility. She happens to be the grandma to the author. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My junior sister, as third in line to me, happens to be the mother of Richard, Elizabeth's dad. So had it been she's with us today, she would have been very proud. Elizabeth seems to pick her talent from my sister Funke. When she was in high school, she used to be part of the drama group, and she's involved in many literary things. So she's very, very brilliant. And I wasn't surprised when Elizabeth also followed that route. So I'm going to read one of our poems from the community version of Ladder to the Top, and it could be found in page 74 to 75, titled The Bell. Who is she, the damsel whose dark skin glows as though they were anointed with the grease of olive? What is she called? The lady who seems as smart as the lion and wise like a tortoise, who smiles as meekly as a lamb that's lured into her wolf's den. Couldn't she have been as cunning as a fox and as harmless as a dove before the paws of the wolf left a tear for all to behold? Couldn't she have gone by all she had been taught? I remember her fierce fighting lessons around the luscious vegetation of the jungle, her parents, the royal blood, gazing with pride. Now our pride is gone. Behold, our cheetah friend Tracy, pronouncing to the queen, Madame Bliss, our weakness. What a disappointment. I hear the snakes easing at such weakness. Oh, how they whisper so loud and wondering. Will she ever lead like the queen she ought to? Just look in the caves and beneath the waters. Look in the bush, even the mountains, and see her being refined. Hear the bell, hearken to my voice, and accept my best wishes as you begin to journey to that land of your dream, a place where you ought to be. Written by Elizabeth Ogunmodede.
Thank you, Edith. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have some news to share. I was looking this morning to see if the book was on Barnes and Noble, and not only is it on Barnes and Noble, but it has also been selected as one of the featured children's books. So that means when a child belongs to the children's club on there, becomes a recommended book for the child to purchase. So hopefully that will be something that we'll see happen. That's wonderful news. It's just not any old book that gets chosen that way, you know. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Elizabeth. You did that. Safraz Ahmed is a UK writer and poet. His published books include Poetry Debut, 84 Pins, Poetry Collection, And My Teacher's an Alien, Two Hearts, A Journey into Heartfelt Poetry with Annette Tarpley, and Stab the Pomegranate, Collective Poetry. And he also released 84 Pins Poetry Collection, second edition, and his latest book, Gift of Poetry, which I happen to have. So welcome, Safraz.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's a pleasure to be part of the celebrations for Elizabeth. Now, anyone that's been part of the Passion of Poetry will know Elizabeth through her poetry and also with her dad as well, going on the open mic sessions. And I remember those sessions because I was listening in awe of her poetry. And I actually thought you were a lot older than what you were, than what you are. You are wiser than your years. And this book, which I have had the pleasure of holding and reading and taking, taking it everywhere with me, has been fantastic. And what I love about this book, and this is why it's not just a poetry book, it's a short story collection, and it's a positive book. I mean, if you want to pick up anything that's going to lift your spirits, pick up this book. You know, it doesn't matter how, I mean, I've been reading it. You know, I know it's for young adults, but I love it. So I've got the pleasure of reading one poem from here, and it's actually become one of my favorites because I've read it a few times, The Tale of the Artist. And I read this, but I see someone which, I don't know, like I said, Elizabeth, you know, if you're writing like this now, you know, what's going to happen in the future? You're going to become something so special, and it's great to be part of your journey. Okay, so I'm going to read Tale of the Artist, and I love the way you've written this. Okay, Tale of the Artist. Reading The Scarlet Knight of Sherlock Holmes, glad to watch as paintbrush kissed palette and bristles of brushes caressed canvas, while beauty eyes scanned the natural terrain, which was beautifully depicted on canvas. Tracy, she called, the lady whose smock was tainted with vibrant hues from an oval palette. She is an epitome of beauty, that runs in the blood of an African, that tells you that she is a rare treasure, for her intelligence stuns and her beauty smile captivates. Her bubbly ways are contagious and her strict lifestyle aids. I admire her staying by my sickbed, reading to me Eva's poetry and telling me stories of her high school years. Thank you so much. And thank you, Elizabeth. I want to read more. I want to read all of it to everyone. So congratulations. I hope the book does really well. And Lisa and myself had conversations, and including, I think everyone have had conversations about, we are poets, we are writers, we are not necessarily publishers, and putting a book together is very difficult. It's not an easy process, and it's a labor of love. So Elizabeth, congratulations. I love the book. I love the way you put it all together. I love your little short stories. I've got so much to read, and I'm looking forward to it. And I will let everyone know about this great book. So congratulations.
Thank you, Safraz. It's beautiful. Thank you. Next, we have Zanetta Bernardo Johns, also known as Zan Johns. She's a two-time best-selling author. After her 2020 debut book, Poetry Forecast topped an Amazon bestseller list at #1 in 6 categories. She embraced her passion of creative expression and has not slowed down or looked back. She released her second book of poetry, After the Rainbow, in February 2022. And I have both of these books here. And I'm really happy to be the publisher of After the Rainbow Golden Poems. We had a lot of fun doing that. So welcome, Zan.
Thank you, Lisa.
How was your
and
magic?
An awesome publisher you are. I'm so excited and honored to be here. Elizabeth, this is a wonderful day. I'm happy to celebrate with you and your beautiful, gifted family. It's obvious that you come from a lineage of excellent writers. Congratulations. The poem that I'm gonna read, I'm so happy that you chose that one for me. It's about friendship. It cautions about friendship. I have 2 preteen twin granddaughters, and I have ordered the book for them. I want them to read your profound wisdom now. I want them to know your lessons now. Actually, I think I'm gonna have a little book club with them, and I'll go through the book with them because I want them to take this in stride. It's so powerful. How do you know all this at age 14? I'm in awe. I was telling you earlier that reading your book reminds me of reading Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. I'm gonna admit something publicly. Your vocabulary is amazing. I had to look up some words already. So congratulations. I'm gonna share with you Elizabeth's beautiful poem, this caution about friendship. It is entitled, Will Not Your Heart to Break. It goes beyond the bracelets, beyond secret knocks that opens doors for sleepovers. It goes beyond tables for 2 at some dinner with pizzas too. The physical just might be a cover. It goes beyond shared tastes in flowers, beyond a shared delight in shopping, or that shared secret recipe for dessert. True friendship goes beyond them all. It seeks the entire heart of those playing the game called true friendship. Know your friends so well so that you may stand a chance of no heartbreak when the chameleon called friend attempts to shred your heart. Wow, Elizabeth, you are amazing. Thank you for allowing me to share that poem. It touches me deeply. I can't wait for my granddaughters to read your book.
Thank
My
you
heart
so
is
much.
full. My heart is so full. Congratulations.
Thank you a lot to me. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Our next person, everybody knows this lady, Jill Sharon Kimmelman. She is a mentor for Elizabeth, has developed a long-standing relationship with her, with writing and friendship. And Jill wrote this really beautiful dedication to Elizabeth, and I'd like to read it. My beloved protege and very special friend, Elizabeth O. Ogunmodede, you continue to intrigue, astonish, amaze, and delight me. Sometimes it is you who is the mentor, sharing suggestions in late night poetry Zoom sessions, refining one another's poems. You remain a constant inspiration, a wellspring of love and boundless energy. Your heart, big as Mother Earth, your generosity of spirit, time, interest, and belief, and prayers for Tim and for me. Our precious bond, an extraordinary blessing and gift. Thank you for yesterday's, today, the promise of all spread before us. I love you, dearest Xenia Rose. Congratulations on the publication of Ladder to the Top, a very special book to save and savor. Jill Sharon Kimmelman, author of You Are the Poem. I'm going to turn it over to Jill.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I know everyone here and I just met Edith. So I'd like to take a moment before reading Elizabeth's choice of poem to talk to you about how I first met Elizabeth. And since we all know how concerned she is about details, I ran it by her first. I was doing in 2020, the summer, a back cover text for an anthology. It was my first attempt at doing that. I read every single poem aloud, 400 pages, 3 times. And what I remembered so clearly was this person I knew nothing of, who had one poem in that anthology called Garden of Roses. She later approached me with the polished demeanor and respect that we all love about her. And when we met in our first Zoom meeting, Richard, Elizabeth, Emerald, and Excellence, we all met together. And it was because of her magnificent poem, Garden of Roses. She described this rose as if she were at that very moment touching it, smelling it, taking that scent, letting it waft into her, permeating her. She addressed all 5 of our senses. And I never knew until later that she has never seen a rose in person, held a rose. The closest she's ever come is the description that Richard offered her when he was working outside of Nigeria and had the great pleasure of visiting some of the world's finest, most well-known gardens. Elizabeth and I have become much more than friends. I may be called her mentor, but truth is, a real mentor-student, protege relationship, it's not one-sided by any means. And I have to tell you, she has taught me far more than I can ever give to her. It is the extraordinary honor that Tim and I have to have been accepted and embraced by Elizabeth's entire family in Africa and in the US. Elizabeth and I do have plans for a book in the future. So you may have heard her mention Tanta Rose. That means Aunt Rose, and she has named her character Zinnia Rose. It all began with her poem, A Garden of Roses. Tim and I look forward to our opportunity to host her. And a few months ago, in a conversation with Richard, because she's a teenager, he said, if you want her, you can have her. We are so looking forward to having her come and visit. And she wants to go to college near us. But Elizabeth, and I've said it before, so I'm saying it for everyone, she is the embodiment of her generation. She is what Ivy League colleges in the United States seek out. as well as widely recognized, highly respected institutions of learning all over the world. So I wait for her first visit. I'm looking forward to using the time when my knee recovery occurs to begin working on our project together. In typical fashion, Elizabeth already wrote 38 handwritten pages of her part. I'm still getting over what it took to take my book from the page to your hands. I have a poem that Elizabeth asked me to share. It is not from Ladder to the Top. It is one that she gifted me. And since this is not about self-promotion, but for Elizabeth, she created a beautiful video that is in my book, You Are the Poem, and the iBook ebook version. My goal all along was to make it accessible financially as well as for the visually challenged. And I must tell you that when the paperback came out and I received my author copy, the very first copy I inscribed to Elizabeth. But for some reason, our government will not allow me to send a book, though it is only a gift and not a sale. That book waits for Elizabeth. It will always be here until I have my 10-minute hug. Tim has his 10-minute hug. We unpack her things. We welcome her into our home. And then I'll give her her book in person. I hope it's worth the wait. Elizabeth, I could not be any more proud of you than I am today, and Tim is as well. The poem that I'm going to share with all of you now is called Sweet Memories. And just so you know, I've never recited it before. She has always recited it, but and I don't like to practice too much. But one of the first things you'll notice in the title of Memories is the reference to how old I am. To Elizabeth at 60, I'm elderly. So I responded after thanking her for this beautiful gift. I said, you should know that Maya Angelou did not have her first book published until she was 60. So I'm going to have more things to say. I'm not going anywhere. I'm waiting for Elizabeth. I want to see everything that she is going to do. She has a tapestry. And I believe that the greatest joy for all of us is to watch as her future, as that tapestry unfolds. Without any further ado, this is Sweet Memories, dedicated to, I'm trying to hold up my iPad and read from my phone. So please be patient. Sweet memories. I have found my oasis, my rainbow in stormy clouds, a precious gem to be cherished. I have found a feather to my cap, a woman with a fine soul, a fair lady whose inks are priceless. I have secured a bond, a strong bond with an angel who is hours away. Our love grows with each passing second. Our time zones are unseen barriers. In our journey of love and life, I feel the beat of her heart, the sonorous sound of her laughter resounds in my ears like a tinkling bell. She is more than a friend, more than just a sister poet. I felt her care, showers of sweet love that I hope I shall someday return. I felt her pains shared in her treasured moments. I pray that joy remains her companion in years to come. When she is no more, I shall happily view our shared photos, collages to ignite precious memories. This special soul will be immortalized. She is a being never to be forgotten, a woman with a heart of gold, a flower I hold firm and not in the wind. This poem is dedicated to my dearest mentor, Jill Sharon Kimmelman. Elizabeth, I could never live up to this, but I wake up every morning intending to try. I love you. I love all your family. On behalf of Tim, we want only the very best, and we will always do whatever it is that you need, how to respond, to always offer our love and support. You are the daughter we never had, and we are beyond grateful for the opportunity that started with a poem called Garden of Roses. Thank you, everyone.
Jill, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for being there for me, support. I love you so much, Jill. I love you. Thank you so much for taking your time to recite sweet memories. It's more beautiful than when I recite it, and it gives more meaning to the poem. I love you, Jill. I love you so much. You don't guess how much I love you.
I love you too, my angel. Thank you, everyone.
Elizabeth, it's all yours. You are the star of the show.
Okay. All right. Shall we introduce? Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Thank you, Surprise. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Zan. Thanks to Annie. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Said. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Glory. And a big thanks to everyone who will be watching this later on. I'm really glad that you're here today to honor my invite. It means a lot to me. So I'll be reading from the first chapter of the book, titled How It All Started at Blooming Roses High. A crackling laughter erupted in the classroom. Eva's ears like a struck bell. Her face stretched into a scowl directed at Olivia, the leader of the laughing gang, whose fair skin stood out amid her friends. Eva quietly looked away as she let herself think deeply about Adrian instead. A wail from someone, a stamp of the foot from the same source, brought Eva back from her mind's momentary flight. A chill ran down her spine as she played dumb at the mocking gesture in the classroom. Without further ado, Eva shifted her gaze from the textbook she'd been skipping through absent-mindedly. Tracy, got any snippets? Eva asked, noticing her deskmate gracefully on her sketch pad. Hey Eva, thank you. Sorry, hey Eva, thought you were having a pleasant time reading that. Tracy flicked her index finger with a smile. You looked occupied with it. Jessica gasped on seeing the chemistry textbook she had been looking for in the past days, just as Tracy packed the book on Eva's desk. Eva, why are you so wicked? Jessica asked. You had my brother's chemistry textbook and I've been looking for it. I never thought you could be so cold hearted. I had turned my belongings upside down in search of it. He gave me a deadline of today and he promised to give me a hard time if I don't provide it. The last time I didn't meet his deadline, he had me do his laundry for an entire week for whatever heavy knew I lost. The class's harum scarum girl smirked as she snatched the book away from Eva's grip and walked towards the door. That was uncalled for, Jessie. Sonia, a girl who sat behind Eva, interjected. I bet we lost Eva in her thoughts. She doesn't look too well, so you should know she didn't do that intentionally. I don't give a Sonia. All that matters to me now is that I have found what was lost. Jessica growled, marching away in quick strides. Eva bit her lower lip and sighed heavily. Thanks, Sonia, she muttered. No probs. I enjoy helping you, Sonia said, beaming. Tracy rolled her eyes at Eva, who looked bucked up. Why did you do that? Tracy, I was the chemistry textbook she had been looking for. It had no name written on it. I was engrossed in my troubles. It was just there on my desk, and I absent-mindedly opened and skimmed through it to distract myself. I suppose you know me better than I know myself. You know I'd never hurt a poor soul. Olivia's giving you a pretty hard time, right? Tracy pulled on a crestfallen face. Somewhat, sighed Eva. You're simply digging your grave, girl. Back out and you'll be set free from all your worries. Anyway, Adrian got on my nerves the last time and I cut him off. Petty errands both of you always have me do. It's annoying when you're trying to put your friend to the right track, but she keeps proving adamant and you're still doing things that will boost her ego and make her continue doing those naughty kinds of stuff. Hit the nail on the head, Eva said. When I got to school this morning, Adrian approached me with a vowel hamper. He pleaded with me to help keep it for you, but I promised myself that was the last time. I kept the hamper though. He also said he had some kinds of stuff which I would describe as odd to do. I guess to miss class and while away time on the outskirts of the school, doing zilch to help his future. I was him and didn't bother hiding it. Tracy growled and dropped the basket on Eva's desk with a small thud. Thanks, girl. Eva's hazel eyes twinkled as she unraveled the contents of the hamper, which consisted mostly of candies and gums of various kinds. Want some? I hate sharing stuff from that dude with you, Tracy hissed. Your words, Eva said, shrugging. Tracy went back to sketching on her notepad. Fumbling around with a calligraphy pen, she smacked her lips. What transpired between you and Adrian again that made him send you gifts in the morning? He only does that when you both get in a row, since he's a self-acclaimed big boy who is too egoistic to apologize. He chose only, never mind. You don't want to interfere in our business, so let's have it that way. Adrian unraveled your soft spot. He knows that you're a snack gourmand and is always using that against you. I keep praying to the heavens that you don't get carried away with this junk food and flashy stuff he sends to you. Tracy grunted and shook her head. Wailing at the door, Jessica asked, "Would you tell me where my government textbook is? I've lost it once more and we've got government class ahead of lunchtime. I bet Miss Samantha would make you kneel on durians." Jessica pleaded, tears welling in her eyes as everyone rolled in the aisle. At that moment, a junior student with thick rimmed glasses walked up to Jessica. Um, Hello, senior. I'm the eighth grade class president, and I found this textbook with your name written on it on our. Oh, bless you. I remember. I made out time on my way back from my brother's class, and I bet that's when I lost it. Thanks anyway. Jessica patted the young girl's shoulders before she hopped away. Sometimes I wonder if she's not a dementia patient. Tracy snorted, scrutinizing the image on the paper as she held it up. She felt it was not spherical enough, which made her pout for a second. With her pencil, she pointed to where the shape's error was. It wasn't as almond-shaped as she would have preferred. The strokes were blank. She dropped it on the desk and went to work immediately to correct the errors. Eva darted a glance at the wall. It was about 5 minutes until the end of lunchtime. Geez, I've got to say hi to Adrian now. She covered up her candy box hastily as she moved her tongue briskly over her fingers, licking the rest of the sugar that stuck to them. Thank you for listening. That was an excerpt from Ladder to the Top, the first chapter. Madam Lisa, I would like to ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If perhaps you know a producer who would like to adopt a teenage movie, a movie for teens, would you recommend Ladder to the Top? Of course, I know a movie producer would like to lay hands on Ladder to the Top. We'll have to do some. I'll have to do some edits, like um, making the storyline a bit longer, probably cutting some scenes out or adding more or whatsoever. But I just want to have your opinion and
I think
tell
that
me if a movie producer is interested in getting hold of a teenage movie, would you recommend Ladder to the Top?
I would, what I would actually recommend Ladder to the Top for is a series, because there are several, all the stories lead to a conclusion, but you can take a lot of what's in each story and get individual episodes out of each story and actually have a series. And I think that would even be more interesting than, because a movie, they can kind of come and it can go. But a series is something that you can keep adding to, write more stories for. I mean, there are so many ways each of these characters could go into their individual lives to, like, you could take some of your, 2 or 3 of the characters and develop them more into individual lives. And before you know it, you could have a whole series together. But yeah, you could do it as a movie as well. But I think the way nowadays goes and what people are really drawn to, series seem to really pull their interest. Now, other people might have some other thoughts on that, but that's my thinking on it. Definitely would be a great book to work from.
I was thinking you would make an awesome Netflix series.
Yes.
Don't you think? And we could stream it, and then, and Lisa, I get exactly what you're saying, because these are short stories, and they could be, they could be episodes basically, and they could be streamed on Netflix. And nowadays, that's the way the world is. We stream everything, But honestly, Elizabeth, I know what you're thinking. Your thinking is great. I think Netflix are doing a short writers kind of how to write for the screen. So they've got like a thing going at the moment where if you're interested, they help and support people that want to write for the screen. So, maybe the timing's fantastic. But yeah, oh my God, I could see this on, all these different platforms. But yes, ladder to the top. I'll be watching it.
They would actually buy your story rights and write the plays for you, or they could employ you to write the plays. You can actually have the corner on both markets.
That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, Lisa. Thank you, Mr. Safraz. Oh, I think Jill wants to say something.
Well, I did have my hand up, but Sarfraz jumped in. So he said exactly what I was going to say. But the only other part I would like to clarify, first of all, Sarfraz, that was a fantastic idea as far as what Netflix is currently offering in terms of learning And Elizabeth is a very quick learner. But the idea that's biggest right now in streaming everywhere is the limited series. And generally it's 8 to 10 individual. You can see it on Hulu, you can see it on Netflix, and any number of other streaming services. Also, YouTube has studios now and tutorials you can sign up for to learn, because that's something that people are actually building on their phones. They have the capability with phones now to be able to create an entire movie. But I do agree completely with Sarfraz, not a movie, definitely a limited series. And when you get your Netflix deal, you can fly on the Concorde to come and visit, and we will take you to the finest restaurant in Delaware and open some champagne. So if you get a Netflix deal, my sweet love.
There are 9 chapters in the book, so that's nine episodes. Well, probably 10. You have to do an introduction and maybe some conclusion. And yeah.
Thank you so much for the brilliant ideas, Jill. I'll take a look at everything you've said and see how I can work towards them. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to read from Wisdom and Voices. That's our family anthology. Hold on. This is my great-grandfather.
Wow.
Book. This is Mr. Robert Bright, and it's our great family heritage. At the front cover of the book, you see my name, and you see that of my grandmother. That's E.O. Bright Awoshika. Okay, so I'd like to read my grandma's poem, page 103, Just Right. Don't love me like snowflakes, for they quickly vanish. Don't love me like a wind, it blows in one direction. Don't love me like a shadow, I need you at all times. Don't love me like soft whispers, I need you bold and clear. Don't love me like sunshine, might be too hot to bear. Don't love me like the moon of stars that shows up only at night. Love me like your heart, without it, you cannot live. Love me like your 2 eyes, without them, you cannot see. Love me like your breath, it shows and proves you are. Love me like your 2 hands, can't do so much without them. Love me like your 2 legs that moves you back and forth. Love me like your belly that holds the food you swallowed. Love me like your mouth helps you to eat and drink. Ain't asking you for too much, just asking for your best and saying, if you love me, so you do it right. Written by E.O. Awoshika Bright. E.O. Bright Awoshika. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for your great words of encouragement, your suggestions, and for continually being an inspiration to me.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone. Would anybody like to have any final thoughts or things to share? I'd like to open it up toward anybody who wants to have anything to say. I noticed you have some beautiful messages in chat too.
I just want to say that what I've done, I mean, I've just put a link, Elizabeth, is how to become a screenwriter for Netflix. So there are opportunities out there, and apparently, Netflix are looking for people of different minority, diverse groups to get into the screenwriting. So there's exciting times ahead. So we could definitely see Ladder to the Top becoming some sort of streamed, series, and bring you to the US. And hopefully I'm going to come as well, I think. It's long overdue. But no, congratulations. And I love your book. I think I think you're doing fantastically well, you know, and just put your name out there. Just keep putting your work out there so people know your work and know more about you. But it's been a pleasure. I think you know, I can speak for everyone. I think we've all enjoyed meeting your family, meeting obviously other poets and other, you know, you reading your work as well has been fantastic. So thank you very much.
Elizabeth, I just put a note in the chat. I'm going to connect you to one of the co-authors in one of my books who started a streaming service. She's getting ready to offer different themes and topics online. And she invited me to host a weekly series, but that's not on my list. That's not who I am, but I'm going to tell her about you. I'll give you some information later.
Wow, thank you so much, Dan. It means a lot to me.
Yes.
You've been a great supporter all along and you've been cheering me on. I love you so much. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you so
proud
much.
of you. Yes, proud to know
And
you.
that is a fantastic gift.
Yes, my pleasure.
Elizabeth, I would like to say something that Tim said. He said it a while ago, but it continues to apply. He said to me one day, Jill, you're not just mentoring a poet, you're mentoring someone who will change the world for the better.
Wow.
And so I've spoken with Saeed about this on more than one occasion, and we both agree that your future is limitless. And each time you've joined Saeed and the Glory Future Foundation, you have inspired those impoverished children. It made no difference that whether they even knew your name or recalled it later, because their physical battles every day to eat, to find fresh water, they're very preoccupied. Yet Saeed is so dedicated to finding ways to allow them to experience catharsis, to unburden their hearts. And each time you've come, that in fact has been the result. So yes, it has been an extraordinary honor to be in whatever place you want me to be for you. I just hope I don't disappear in the dust along your way. I will love you forever and I will support you. I love Zan's idea. I love Sarfraz's idea. I think it's wonderful. And anything you need from me or from Tim, because this is his area of expertise. He is a graduate in mass comm and theater. So I just wanted everyone to know that she has supporters everywhere and we all believe in her, don't we? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate your kind words. I love you so much. I pray you get well soon so that everything will be fine.
Thank you all so much for coming out today and celebrating with Elizabeth. I know this means a lot to her and means a lot to me. And I've been really enriched to hear everybody. I love to hear people read each other's poetry. And really, I can hear some voiceovers going on in here. So this is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
Today I'm exciting day.
Congratulations for the book. Hope it does really, really well. I'm going to encourage everyone to buy it. We should all encourage everyone to buy this book.
Yes.